Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Vince, and joining me today for lunch is writer, director, producer, author, which is different than writer, publisher, extraordinaire, the amazing Tammy Williams. She took some time out of her busy schedule to come by and have lunch with me today. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And so we are going to prepare some soul food light food. So we're going to prepare some cabbage, some turnip greens, some twice baked sweet potatoes,
Southern food,
a little cornbread, and we're going to try handing some fried oyster mushrooms. Sounds good?
Sounds good. Can't wait.
Stick around. We will be right back. All right, we are back and we're going to get started on these oyster mushrooms.
Yes.
So, do you have the option of leaving them in the large pieces or smaller pieces? I prefer smaller. This would be our version of wings.
Okay.
Like crispy wings or something like that. So, let me give you a knife as well for yours. And we're just going to cut the roots off a little bit.
I'm a little slow because I'm still putting on my gloves.
Oh.
This may be a very interesting session. I don't know how fast.
No, it's all good. Yeah. So we're going to do all of it at the same time.
Okay,
so
super.
I was just giving you the heads up on the mushroom. So we're going to take the roots off. And we're just going to slice off. We'll start there.
Okay. Oops.
Follow me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, you're good.
I'm good. Okay.
You're going to be Chef Tammy after this is all done. This is like the G League for cooking.
Okay, great. I'm sorry
so,
I pulled you off.
Oh, no, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to pull off pieces in the sizes that you want.
Okay.
So probably 2 on each one. So pull them off in twos. 2 or 3 if they're smaller. If they come off as individuals, just look at them as hot wings.
Ooh.
So.
Okay.
All right. And so we're going to break up our pieces.
Okay. Am I doing it? Okay.
Yep. You're doing it good. Yep.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect. Yep.
Oops.
And
wow.
that's that.
Okay.
Voila.
I can handle that.
So for our breading, in order to get stuff to stick to this, so we'll use a dry, wet, dry. The dry sticks to this, which helps the wet stick to the dry, which helps the crunchy panko stick to that.
Okay.
That's the process for that. But we have to season it. So we are going to season our flour with, not all of it, like you got to give them the salt, babe, give them the hand and the sprinkle.
Like that, okay.
And like that, no, like 2 or 3, like a big pinch of pepper. Yeah, that's good. Boom. Salt.
Bam. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you get some salt. We have some garlic after that. And we're going to have some smoked paprika after that. So we want our flour to have a hint of red.
That's good?
That's good.
Bam.
Bam. And so you're going to stir that in. And we're also going to season we're using coconut milk.
Ooh.
So it's going to be, completely vegan dish, so to speak. All right, so you're going to mix that in.
I like coconut.
Yeah.
I've actually had one like fresh from the
coconut.
island. They were selling them on the side of the street.
That's the best.
Put the straw in it.
Chop it up.
It was delicious.
So you spoke of the islands.
Yes.
Are you from Georgia? Or are you a transplant like everybody else?
I've been here for a long time. So I've been in Georgia since 1998.
Oh, wow.
So I'm originally from Tennessee, so not too far away.
Okay.
And I always kind of knew I was going to come back to Georgia when I graduated from college in Tennessee. I said, one day I am going to move to Atlanta. And so happened I did. After traveling around, living in different cities, I eventually came back here.
Good.
So,
where in Tennessee?
A town called Murfreesboro.
I know where that is.
Murfreesboro. You know where that is?
About 4 hours from here.
How do you know about Murfreesboro?
When my daughter was in gymnastics as a preteen. They had a competition there. So we drove there for the competition.
Yeah.
So,
Born and raised in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Went to college there.
Okay.
And family all in Murfreesboro, Nashville, Chattanooga area.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So let's get to coating these. So we're going to go dry, wet, dry.
Dry, wet, dry.
So we're going to completely coat because we want the coconut milk to really adhere to this. So
Mm-hmm.
if it gets messy, some people like to use dry hand. We're not going to do that. So
Okay.
you want to completely submerge, and then we're going to completely coat. And then we're going to set this to the side. And we're going to make these in our air fryer.
Oh, I love air fryers.
Okay.
We use ours.
You're up
regularly.
next.
I'm up next. Okay.
Come on, Chef Tammy.
Understand. Now these are some big ones that has some little babies around the side. So we dry.
Yep. Just dump it on. Yeah.
I'll just dump it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely cooked.
Just like be aggressive, stand on business. Okay.
That's right.
Roll it around.
Yep.
Dip it. Baptize.
And then into the breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I was about to do something crazy. In Jesus' name.
That's all right.
You didn't know what you was getting today, did you?
Listen.
Yeah, we come out.
Nothing wrong with Jesus. We all love Jesus.
There we go. Is that good?
That's perfect.
Okay.
And then we're going to do all of these.
What I'll put it right here.
That we sit on a baking sheet.
So this is to be kind of almost like my first time really having this type of mushroom prepared this way. So I'm looking forward to just tasting it and
So there are
just
so
learning
many
more about them.
varieties of mushrooms that you can do so many things. If somebody was really into becoming a plant-based as a diet, there's a lot of options. People just think it's difficult but if that's something you want to do, it's not super hard.
Yeah, and actually I'm the one who have thought about going plant-based, but just finding what my options are.
So many.
You know what I mean?
So many.
So
I'm not. I will still eat a pork chop, but there are a lot of options.
Yeah.
But I just like food.
Yeah. Well, I also like to say I'm a flexitarian.
A flexitarian.
Yeah, just kind of.
That means, however I'm feeling today.
Yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay. We doing good?
We're doing great.
Okay.
Then after we do this, we'll start our greens.
So Chef Vinny, how long have you been eating mushrooms and part of your diet?
As part of my diet, because I'm food curious, I've always liked to try different foods and different things, and I will actually travel for food just to get something authentic.
Okay.
So I like that. Yeah, I like food, but I grew up from a large family, so we grew up with a home-cooked meal every day. And so that was the cost-efficient way to feed your family of 10.
Family of 10.
Family of 10.
Well, you know
Not
what?
me, but I'm from a family of 10, so that was a cost-effective way to do that.
You're talking about being cost-effective. In today's times, we're looking for cost-effective ways to eat and to eat healthy.
Yes.
It's like not having to kind of resort to all the other unhealthy things, because sometimes it costs a lot to eat healthy,
To eat healthy?
To eat, period.
It's not as expensive as people think. Like you said earlier, you just have to know, what am I trying to get? And buy meals instead of buying stuff. So if you buy a meal, it's not super expensive.
Yeah.
So a family of 4 for these mushrooms is going to be less than or equivalent to a pack of chicken.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's not as expensive.
It's not as expensive as people think.
Yeah, as far as eating, healthy. Cool.
So we are going to get back to film.
Film. Want to talk about film?
You and film.
Okay.
How did it all come about for you? Like knowing that that's something you were interested in, something you want to do.
When I reflect back, it's like working in television. It's something. Maybe it started when I was a kid, and I was so interested in what was going on behind the scenes. I used to watch a lot of television to the point. One day I overheard my mom say on the telephone to my auntie, I'm concerned about Tammy because she won't go outside and play. I just wanted to watch TV. And although,
did you watch for what's on screen, or did you watch for the credits and see what all that stuff was? Or
I was watching on screen, but I was a little bit curious. And this is when I was like 11, 12. They used to have these premieres, a lot of film premieres on TV. I used to watch a lot of those, people walking red carpets and things like that. Watch the EPKs and all that. So I was that kid. And but when I entered college, I didn't major in production until like my junior year when I changed to that.
What was your original major?
In teaching, education.
Oh,
I had this passion for educating
that makes
people.
sense.
Yeah, and it's come full circle actually in my life. I've been able to educate and educate through my projects as well as having like film classes, training people in film. And we've had over 3,000 people just to come through our workshops from starting at 2012. So a production company with an education arm.
With the education arm.
Mm-hmm.
So what what is the focus of your workshops?
Workshop film. We start with the basic training to be a production assistant
Okay.
and in film and TV, the entry level, because we found that many students were graduating from college and they knew how to do certain things to make a film, but they didn't know how to get the job. They didn't understand the entry level. Now things have expanded, and some schools are now having PA, programs, and different people are doing PA programs now. But they didn't know how to get the job, how to build their resumes, and that's the important thing. How do you get that job once you learn? When you come out of college, you're not going to like get a job like Steven Spielberg or Spike Lee or Ryan.
You got to know. You got to start at the bottom and work your way up.
Yes, and understanding the process and the various systems of working in this industry. I like the way we're flowing here. I'm covering, dipping.
It makes the process easier.
Yes.
I'm going to just pass these to you, and I will
Okay.
code at the end.
So I went on to major in production, and when I was in college, I did a lot of internships. I did a lot of free work because I knew that there were a lot of people who wanted to do what I wanted to do. So I had to be different. I had to stand out. I had to, and that's what I did. My counselor came to me. He was like, "Tammy, how are you getting all these internships? You're not getting any credit, for any of them except one." And I didn't care. I just knew I had to have experience. I knew I had to have a good reel. So I know some time today, people are like, no, I wouldn't dare do an internship for free. Well, I did. Back then, I did because I knew what had to happen. And it happened for me. As soon as I graduated, I went right into my profession and have been in it ever since.
Do you think doing internships today is still helpful?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Some people want to get paid, for their internship, and that's fine too. The internships that we have and we do offer, I've been working with college students and even high school students for several years now. Our program is a mentorship because I believe that you can understand how to do something, the technical side of it, but if you don't have the character or understand how things work or even understand what red tape is, you and I have been in the workforce, for a while. We understand that red tapes and relationships and all those things, how do you draft an email that, all those things you have to, that's unspoken that you have to. So we talk about those with our internships, with our students. And many of our students say, I thought this was just going to be an internship, but it's so much more. You teach us about life. And that's what it's all about. You need to know about life. I'll ask them, okay, now today, you understand how to do the camera. Now today, I want you to tell me, I want you to write your mission statement. You're right? Write your mission statement. And most of them will talk about their careers and how they're moving up. I say, what about your family? What about family? Are you thinking about that? Where does this family enter in? Do you one day want to have a family? And they're like, I just never thought about that. I said, that needs to go into your plan. It all needs to go in your plan. Faith, what do you believe in? What are you standing on? What principles? That needs to go into your plan.
Question.
Yes.
What role, take your gloves off. I think we are done with the mushrooms. What role, I don't know if it's too personal, but what role does faith play in your life personally? And what you do?
It's the foundation for me. You have to stand on and believe in something. Or like that quote said, or you'll fall for anything. And so, being being considered like a woman of faith, it plays a huge role in my everyday life. God is important to me. Jesus is important to me. And I wouldn't be where I am today without it. So.
Absolutely. I don't think any of us would be.
Yeah.
But some people just don't want to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
I made it on my own. You didn't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
We need to wipe this off. So we're going to take 1 second and clean this up. And we're going to move on to the next stage of lunch.
Creative chaos.
Creative chaos.
I love it.
All right. So next up, we're going to get started on this cabbage.
Cabbage.
I'm going to cut this in half, give you half, and I'll take half.
Okay.
Do you prefer your cabbage strips skinny, thick, chunky?
I probably like them a little midway. But you know what? I love cabbage.
A bigger piece.
Oh, thank you. I love cabbage so much. I can just eat it. It could be shredded or
So
chunks.
we're gonna save the outside leaves,
Okay.
so you can peel this next couple layers off if you want. And we're gonna take the core with your knife.
Mm-hmm. Peeled all these off.
Yep. Those two, and that's good.
Good. Peeling off the cabbage. Although I love it, I don't cook it often.
So this core, we're gonna cut this out. So just push in, kind of make a point. Yep. That's good too. Up a little bit further.
A little further?
We want it like all the way up there.
All the way up there. Okay, there we go. He trained me how to use a knife before we came on, but you know. And again, here.
Yep, right there.
Tip
and then
down.
You're just gonna pull that part out, and that is the core. Those are so you don't need those pieces. So now we are going to cut whatever size you like, whether you like thick or thin size strips. So cut straight down. Yep, just like that.
Tip roll.
Tip roll. And roll back. And let the knife do the work.
Let the knife do the work. Okay.
So it shouldn't be
I'm finished.
Okay, and that's it for our cabbage. So our cabbage is done. Now these green leaves, we do want to take off some of this, the thicker part. And then we're going to roll them up, and then we're going to cut them in thin strips. So just this part in the middle, like cut that part off.
Okay.
The white part, yeah.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep. That's the only one I have. You can give me 2 more.
Oh, okay. Here you go. I'll share.
Okay.
What are some of the common myths about cabbage?
One of the common myths that's not a myth is that it will give you gas, but that is solely based on the person.
Oh, okay.
So another myth that's not a myth, that it's a very good weight loss food. So it's very filling, makes a very good soup. It's very hearty. Surprisingly, in the garden, it's easy to grow.
Okay.
It's not too terribly hard to grow.
So all of these are good.
Those are good. So we're going to roll this up, and we're just going to make ourselves some strips.
Oh, put them all together.
Yep, and then we're just going to cut down like that. And when you're cooking it, the green takes a little bit longer to cook than the whiter portion. So you want to throw that in your pan first if you can. So just set that to the side. All right, so we are done with our cabbage, and we are going to get our cooking utensils set up, and then we're going to start cooking this stuff.
Okay.
I know I asked you if you have a preference for flavors. You said not really. You just don't like super spicy. Is that correct?
My flavor is good. Is that a flavor?
Your flavor profile is good. Okay. All right, so let's turn. Olive oil is what we're going to use.
Okay.
We already have our pre-cut veggies. And so this is salt, pepper, like a spice blend.
Great.
That's what we're going to use to season our cabbage. So
you know, with the olive oil, what's best? Like extra virgin, extra, or what are your thoughts on that?
So my thoughts on the olive oil is the extra virgin is, as far as flavor, nice and light. They do have just a regular olive oil. It's a thicker viscosity, and it's good for something different than what this extra virgin olive oil is. So extra virgin is very good for like salad dressings, and it's a lot lighter than the other one, than the regular olive oil. So I would definitely go with the extra virgin olive oil for just general cooking. Don't try to fry with it. The smoke point is not so high, so it'll burn your food. So a different oil, avocado oil would be better for that, or grapeseed oil would be better for like a sauteing or frying kind of thing. So we're just gonna give a squirt of our olive oil. We're kind of frying-ish more, a little bit more. So that's good. And we're gonna want to coat all of this. So we're gonna start with our vegetables. You can throw all of them in there. So you mentioned your grandmother.
Yes.
Your family.
Yes.
What does food mean to you?
food?
Yeah, what does food mean to you? Because every time you mention them, you mention food.
Mm,
So what does
that's
food mean?
amazing. I never thought about that. But with our food, it's just a time of like fellowship, conversation, and it's something because with our family we have these huge family reunions, like many people do every year,
Yeah.
and we always have so much food. But it's something about coming together, sitting and eating. I do documentaries. I'm a documentarian. That's one of the things I do. I do documentary features. I've done several over the years, and I did one on my family because we love blackberries. Oh, here we go. With my hands.
Yeah.
Okay. We love blackberries. Woo. There you go, folks. Okay. Thank you. We love blackberries, and
Yeah, it's gonna have a little bit of a sizzle, but it's okay. We're gonna turn it down for you.
I don't have insurance for this shoot. What's going on? You gotta use his hand for writing. You can cut this out if you want to.
No.
Well, our family loved blackberries, and I love blackberry cobbler, blackberry dumplings. My mom and grandma used to make those beautiful like blackberry dumplings. It's like chicken and dumplings, but you use blackberries and all the sauce that goes along with it.
I've never heard of that.
Delicious. And so
blackberry cobbler, yes, but the
dumplings, yeah. So think of chicken and dumplings. No chicken, no chicken soupy taste, but strictly blackberries. All that juice you would have in the blackberry pie, smothered and with, they're delicious, blackberry dumplings. And so we used to go pick blackberries too, pull on the side of the road. They would go in and pick blackberries. So I actually traced in our family all the way back to my great grandmother, who was known for having blackberries around. Yeah. So it's something how you can trace these things back. Yeah. At least we did. And so now I found like, okay, this is why.
This is why you like blackberries.
Yeah. So that's my second favorite food on my list. My first I'll tell you about later, which we're having today.
All right. So once those sweat just a little bit, you're gonna throw your cabbage right in.
Okay.
So right now you can throw these dark green leaves in and let them cook with those.
Okay.
However you want to do it.
And
I saw you wash your hands.
Yes. It smells good. These onions and peppers in here are just like.
Okay, then you're gonna let those cook for a little bit.
Okay.
And you're gonna throw the rest in, and then we're gonna just throw in a splash of vegetable broth to make them a little bit softer instead of chicken broth. So we'll just use vegetable broth. You can make vegetable broth with all of your leftover vegetables. Yeah. You have leftover onions.
Yeah.
When you're in the kitchen burning it down, save the onions and the peppers and the carrots and all of that. Just boil it in a pot, add some seasoning, put it in the jar and fridge it up. Vegetable stuff.
You heard that straight from Chef Vinny. You can make your own vegetable broth. What you guys
can make your own vegetable.
I didn't know.
I knew that. But yeah. So for me, I will say, since I grew up in a large family and I grew up with cooked meals every day, I saw the time and effort and energy and the love that my mother put into the meals that she would make for all of us. And so those are the things I remember when I think of cooking, and that kind of fueled my passion for cooking.
Cooking, you definitely have to cook with love.
Yeah, you have to.
Love. I mean, I've tasted the difference between.
You can taste the difference.
When someone is,
If you're not cooking with love and you take a bite, they don't really like you.
Yeah.
you can taste it.
Yeah. Cooking with love. All right, are we ready for the other ones?
You are ready for the rest of them.
Okay.
Grab your vegetable stock.
I'm going to do this here. We're going to put all of this in here?
You're going to put all of it in there.
Because, cabbage cook down, right?
Definitely.
It's like you can have a whole bunch of raw, then by the time you finish, you have a couple of portions here.
I'm going to need some of this. Put my greens in. Okay.
Those are turnips, collards. Turnips.
Turnip greens.
Turnips. Those are turnips.
Turnip greens. Yeah.
Oh, are these the fresh turnips you have in your backyard?
These are not. Those are collard greens.
Those are collards.
Those are the collards.
Okay.
The turnip greens didn't come up yet.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for when they do come up.
Yeah. Guys, they have a beautiful garden back there. All kinds of things growing. My gosh. Pineapple, everything. Strawberries.
And once they warm up a little bit, then you're going to add your vegetable stock to that.
Okay.
We're going to put a lid on this, and we're going to let these cook down. Shouldn't take too long. Oh, and don't forget your seasoning.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing?
A big sprinkle, because you want it to season the broth as well as the vegetables. I have my seasoning.
I look so professional.
You are a professional.
Professional cook.
Yes, we're going to call you Chef Tammy when you leave here.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's going to be one more thing added to your list of things that you do.
I'm going to write a book. No, later on.
So,
what not to do in the kitchen by Tammy Williams.
What not to do.
Is that enough seasoning? You think, or more?
I would say add some more.
Add some more.
So since you're going to add liquid to it, some of it will fall off into the liquid.
Yeah.
That you're going to write. You've written other books.
Yes, I have.
So tell me about your other books you've written.
I've written several books. My latest book's called 10 Fearless Do More Lessons. These are lessons I learned from working in the film industry. For example, I was talking to a couple of stunt guys that did a few Marvel movies, you know, that kind of thing. And we were just chatting, and they told me that they had a fear of heights. I'm like, how can you be a stunt guy and have a fear of heights? Yeah. How can that even be possible? Because you have to jump off buildings and things like that. And they both said, hey, we just do it. You know, we just make it happen. And that became a lesson that I wrote about. Sometimes you just got to do things afraid. Everything may not be lined up perfectly, like you have all your ducks in a row. You still just have to do it. You know, it's to do, because we can talk about it all the time, but sometimes you just got to step out there and do it. So that's one of the lessons that I talk about in the book.
That lesson applies to everything.
Everything.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah. So that's 10 Fearless Do More Lessons. That's book one. Book two, and they all work together. Book two deals with shifts. When shifts happen in your life, what do? I call it shift is not a 4-letter word, right? So maybe something...
As in move?
Move. When things happen, maybe you lose a job. Maybe you lose someone precious in your life. Maybe, you just want to start something new, right? That when things shifts, how do you handle an unexpected shift or an expected shift? And sometimes shifts can get you in a place where you're just stuck. So the goal in the book is to show someone a way of becoming unstuck and how to come out of that position and start something new with boldness, or move forward with boldness and become a game changer. So a game changer is a person that not only helps themselves, but helps other people, right? My greatest game changer that I love to talk about all the time is Harriet Tubman. She was a game changer, right? She was, she helped other people. She did all of that. But, even if it's not on that level, the impact can be so great in other people's lives that, you become that game changer. So it's how to handle a shift and come out with boldness, with a fresh new perspective, right? Owning who you are, owning your space, right? And making things happen.
Do you still experience fearfulness when you're starting something new, and you just go do it?
Okay, let me talk about fear and me just sticking to this pan right here. I need some.
Oh no, you're ready for
your
broth.
I'm ready for that. Okay. I saw something brown underneath. I'm like, oh my God, I'm burning up the food on national
flavor.
TV. That's flavor. Okay.
That's flavor.
Whew, thank you, Lord.
So no, it's okay with a little char. That's fine.
With a little char. That's what makes it taste better.
Listen, that's the secret sauce.
Secret sauce? I have... Hey, this is part of life. Sometimes things get burned, but the goal is you keep going after you burn.
You keep
your
going.
food. You know,
keep...
no, have you ever had that black toast that was overcooked? What do you do? What did we do as kids? That's right. The camera guy is saying about that. You scrape off that black. Guess what? Add a little jelly. Who knows the difference?
You got toast.
You got toast. You got toast. Still toast.
Right, so turn this up, and we're just gonna let this go for a second. So you're good with stirring?
Yep. I can just You asked the question of do I still fear things?
Do you experience like fearfulness and like, okay, I'm gonna go do this?
I do.
You do.
I do. I do. I remember when I had to direct my first film, and my husband's like, okay, you know, we got this film coming in. Do you want to direct it? I've never directed a feature film before. I've done other things like the documentaries, which is different style. I've directed commercials and talent commercials, but never a full-length feature film. So that it scared me a little bit. And one thing I learned about myself at that point in time is that I was an avoider. One thing we have to learn, we talk about that in the book, is how do you respond to fear? Some people get angry. Some people, you know, get very shy. You react different ways. I was the avoider type, right? And he kept saying, you want to direct a film? Yeah, I'll get back with you. You want to direct a film? Yeah, I kept avoiding till one point he was like, look, it's time. Do you want to direct this film? And I said, yes, I want to direct this film. And I did it, you know, and a lot of things came back to me that I experienced in directing shorter forms of things. You know, there's some things I look back and say, okay, yeah, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. But the thing is, you just do it anyway, right? And I did it anyway. And we made a film. It was complete. You know, we did film. It's up now where people can see it. But that was like 2016, my first film I directed. So I learned a lot about that. But now I take a different approach. You know, I'm not at that avoider with that anymore because it was unfamiliar to me, right? And I was like, maybe I need to go to director school. Maybe let me read this book. There wasn't time for all that. I had to go with what I knew, and I did. Then I had a great support team around me who knew some things, and so we made it happen.
So facing your fears helps you learn about yourself and how to move past it.
Yeah. Learning your fear language. You know, what is your language? What do you do when you're hit with fear? And so you can't overcome something if you don't recognize and confront it.
Right.
So sometimes we can hide things. I like to compare it to like when you're flying on an airplane, right? And you have all this luggage, right? Yeah. And sometimes there's a little overhead bin. We can stuff everything in the overhead bin and kind of stuff it up there, right? Sometimes when things happen, it's like we stuff our problems and ignore things like in a bag and try and push it away, right? Right. But it's still there. It's like unclaimed language, unclaimed luggage.
It's just going to keep going around on a carousel until you pick it up.
Exactly. And they'll that's good. It is. And sometimes they'll come and take it and put it over in a section of unclaimed luggage. Guess what? No matter what, it's still your luggage. It's still there, and it's going to be there until you come get it. And that's the same kind of thing. So we have to confront things, and whatever those emotional things are, those hurts, those pains, whatever it is, confront it, because if you don't, you know, it'll bleed over. Will
keep you in that same place forever.
Exactly. And that's the kind of things that bleed over into relationships. We wonder why a relationship is not working, but there's some issues in your past you never dealt with. Or maybe sometimes you don't know how to deal with them, and you need some help. You need a trusted friend, someone that could walk through that season, that time with you to help you. You know, and sometimes we need professional counseling, you know, and sometimes we're just like, I don't want to go see. It's like, that hurt is so deep. You need somebody to help you to root it, and you become a better person as a result of it. You become stronger, and then you can truly fulfill your purpose and goals and things that you need to do. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take one more break, finish up all this food, and we're going to come back, sit down, keep the conversation going while we try to eat and talk at the same time, but mostly eat. We'll be right back.
That smells so good.
All right, we are back. Tammy, I think you might have to go stand in the line at the Food Network and have them give you your interview. Everything looks great.
Thank you. I did amazing. All of this.
You did almost all of this.
Vinny, of course.
But yeah, everything looks great. We're going to dig in and give everything a try.
Wow, this looks delicious.
So, and we definitely leaned into the garden a little bit, a little plant-based.
Yeah.
So I want you to try the mushrooms and let me know what you think, since you haven't had that in a while.
Okay, so how do I eat this? Is this with a fork thing, a knife
no,
thing?
fingertip.
This is finger.
This is finger food.
This is finger food.
So that's why we broke it into the smaller pieces.
Oh, okay. Oh gosh, here we go.
Has like a meat texture consistency.
It does. This is
Meaty.
good. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So we probably need to cut more of the stem off. But yes. And so people use this for their chicken replacement. Yeah.
Do you ever put like a sauce on it or anything?
Yes. I can whip you up a dipping sauce real quick.
Oh wow. I just wondered. You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
But
You're
yeah.
instant.
Oh yeah, but a dipping sauce, you know, just like that's why I was saying people look at it as like hot wings. That's what they use for their version of it, the plant-based. So yeah,
I love that.
not bad.
This plate is so full. Can you
It is
guys see
full.
this plate? Look at this. I love Southern soul food. Got my turnip greens here that were sautéed.
Sauteed turnip greens. Hopefully they're not too spicy for you.
Has a little kick to it.
Not overwhelming though.
No. These are good. And the sweet potatoes are kind of stirred. You've kind of stirred them up, and what do you call this type of sweet
So
potato?
we made a twice baked sweet potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So we bake the sweet potatoes, we scoop out the inside, we add some extra seasoning to it, whip it up some more, bake it some more so it firms up a little bit. So it's going to give you
This is-
soft
This
sweet
is so good.
sweet potato pie vibe. If you
Yeah.
add those spices to it.
That's what it tastes like.
Yeah, like sweet potato pie. Yeah.
I'm a sweet potato connoisseur. Right?
Connoisseur.
I'm a connoisseur. I can eat it. You know, I can make a sandwich. Put sweet potatoes between two pieces of bread.
No.
Oh yeah.
That's not
You've
right.
got to have a sweet potato sandwich. Not right?
That's a lot wrong with that.
No.
It's
It's delicious. You should try it.
Oh, you're serious?
Yeah, you should get two pieces of bread, slap sweet potato in between, and make a sandwich.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's bad till I try it.
Right.
So I like food. I'm going to give it a try.
It's good. Just if you don't have two slices of bread, get one slice of bread, put it in the middle, fold it over.
Okay. How are the sweet potatoes
Trust me.
cooked?
Like this.
Oh,
like
soft
mashed,
texture.
soft.
Okay.
Soft. Yeah. Or even if you slice them up, you know, you have to put them in the oven, slice
Yes.
them up, and put the sugar up. Yeah, they taste good that way too. So any way you have it,
Okay.
that's good.
All right.
I'll send you guys the recipe. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I want you to taste that hibiscus tea. Tell me what you think.
Oh. Hibiscus.
Yes. Like the plant, the little pretty plant. Pretty flower.
I'm gonna use this beautiful straw. Kind of helps you keep your lipstick on.
That's important.
That's good. It's a different flavor.
Yeah, it's
I've never
kinda
had that before.
Cranberry-ish, but not cranberry tart. And for people with a medical issue, they say it's good for like blood pressure and things like that.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
How did you guys make it?
With some hibiscus, dried hibiscus flowers, and in a coffee pot, and let it steep through. And then once it goes through, add your honey to it. We sweetened it with honey instead of sugar. And if you want it really tart, you can throw some slices of lemon in there or some other flavors. A little cloves makes it interesting, kind of warming, and it makes a very good hot tea.
Okay. Am I the only one who didn't know about this? Probably.
You are not.
Okay.
You're not the only one. Not
Thank
the only
you for
one.
educating me about this.
Well, we said you're all about education.
I love
So-
learning.
I want to know about your other books. You have other books, correct? And did you tell me you were a publisher?
Yes. I started a publishing company actually just this year.
Okay.
And we have like 4 new books. I wanted to read it and experience it. Although I wrote it, I lived it. I wanted to read it, go back and read it as if I was standing away from it, right?
Okay.
And I've done that. And when I read that book, it strengthens me. And it's my goal and hope that whoever reads it, that they get the courage and the strength that they need from the book, right?
Right.
So 3 series. let me tell you, we were talking about the books earlier. So the 3 books I have, one is called 10 Fearless Do More Lessons, right?
Okay.
Lessons I've learned from the film industry, just various lessons. One is, I like to call it pulling focus. You know,
Okay.
when someone's working with a camera, a certain camera, they have a person that pulls the focus. You know, make sure the shot is in focus for the DP to be able to shoot it. They make sure the shot is in focus first.
DP?
And the director of photography.
Okay.
So it's like sometimes in life we need good friends that can help us focus.
Pull you in focus.
Pull us in focus. Sometimes those friends need to check us to say, hey, you know, man, that's not quite right.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes they encourage, like, oh yeah, that is right. But I think a good relationship, a good friendship to me is when you have people who are honest with you, right? Who's honest,
Yeah.
because any good relationship is worth a conversation. A good conversation, a healthy conversation, right? And you have those people who, you know, may not speak into your life or be that close, but I think everybody needs a good friend.
They do.
That they can trust.
A good friend that's going to tell you the truth.
Tell you the truth.
And not be concerned about hurting your feelings.
Yeah, tell you the truth in love.
In love.
In love.
Yeah.
They have, you know, their purpose, you know, that they love you, they care for you, and they're able to tell the truth. You're going to do that. Yeah. So another part of the book is dealing with, let's see, silly, is that silly games in that? Yeah, I think I have. I have a couple.
Oh, you have.
I have a little marker right there.
And, I'm gonna pass it back to you.
Yeah, I have this one. I love PowerPoint number 5. When nobody knows your name, what do you do when no one knows your name? Right? Because some people say, I just want to be famous, you know. But when nobody knows your name, that's okay, because there is a power in being underestimated. Yes. My favorite quote that I have that I said is, they may not see you coming, but they'll know when you get there.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like you can be a quiet storm. You can do your work, do what you need to do, and then when it's time for it to be presented, it'll be presented at the right time. Yeah. You don't have to rush it. So we talk about that in the book. You know,
okay, that's
another point that's in the book. Again, everything is about empowerment, you know, and practical steps to empowerment. Shift is not a 4-letter word. You know, when things unexpected and expected happen in your life, how to shift, how to flow, how to move out, you know, how to maneuver in it, you know.
Sounds easy, but how do people get up the courage to do that?
Yeah, see, I wrote it in my book.
You know what I mean? A lot of times you hear people say that, like, you know, something happened, I'm just going to pivot and go do this.
You know what? It's one step at a time.
Just one step at a time.
You know, first is sometimes is recognizing where you are, being real that you are in a position that it's hard to move forward, right? When my mom passed, I was in a position where I knew I had to move forward, and I was doing some things, but I felt zombie-like, you know, for a while. You know, I look back and go like, oh my God, I was like that for almost a year, but I was still functioning.
Yeah.
Right? But I was stuck in many ways. And then like a major shift happened, because I always say when Mom went, it's like my floor, the flooring kind of shifted
like
from
foundation.
Underneath. Exactly. Yeah. And so, you know, one step at a time. And do I still grieve? Yeah, it hit me in waves sometimes, right? But it was a shift, and I know that she would want me to continue to do certain things, still put my best foot forward, right?
Yes.
And so that's how I slowly began to move forward. You know, being fired from a job when you don't expect it, all of a sudden you wake up and you realize that you're not getting that paycheck every 2 weeks, and like, what am I going to do? I have a family, I have this going on, right? How do you shift, right? Sometimes we have to be kicked out of a nest to be able to go and fly and do those things that we need to do.
Yeah.
Right? If I had stayed at a job that I was at because I was afraid and didn't want to move, right? I wouldn't, you know, be building, you know, a studio that we're building, or in the place that we're in now, or doing, you know, classes and all those things, right?
You were still saying, I want to do that.
Yeah, I was still being saying, you know, from some other place. So shifts, you know, shift is not a 4-letter word. Sometimes, you know, you can move forward in your shifting. I think another one is like, this is book number 3. So they kind of all fit together.
And is it a progression?
It is. And the middle one deals with shifting, becoming unstuck, and becoming that game changer. I had mentioned Harriet Tubman earlier. Simone Biles is a game changer.
She is.
You create moves that
Yeah,
that
named
sometimes
after
nobody
you.
else named
Yeah.
after you, that somebody else may not be able to do, that's game changing.
That's
Right.
yes.
So my goal is, I want to be a game changer, continue to be a game changer. And sometimes you have to look at yourself, and this is about being positive. Um, affirmations.
Yes.
You have to say, I am a game changer. I always like to do my new introduction is, hello, my name is Tammy Williams. I'm a game changer. Any questions?
You let them know.
Any questions? And so when you have that attitude,
Yes.
and it's not a cocky attitude, but it's starting to appreciate who you are and your uniqueness. And
Are
that's
you ever
empowering.
concerned that somebody you would introduce yourself to like that won't know the difference between your confidence and they may see it as
Yeah. Now I
the
don't actually
confidence?
say that when I meet people.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I don't say it out loud,
Okay.
right? But it's an attitude I may carry,
Okay.
and within myself. Yeah. So when you deal with insecurities and you're constantly trying to build yourself up, no one wants to stay in that state. Is not helpful and productive for you, right?
Yes.
So one day I was, just meditating, and I was like, hey, yeah, my name is Tammy Williams. I'm a game changer. Any questions? What else would you like to know at this point?
And that's
It's
a
an attitude.
self-affirmation for you.
It's an affirmation.
Yeah.
It's affirmation. Let me share with this book here. Share.
Take a breath. Eat some more food.
Take a breath. Okay. You told me to take a breath. I was about to read to y'all. And I can talk. We talked about that, right? I'm a talker.
You know what? I would not have thought that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. I talk about things that I really love and
That you're passionate about. Yeah.
Other than that, I can be
what?
very quiet.
I think
can be
that's
very, very
everybody.
quiet. But when you're passionate about something, and this information is like, I so want to get it out to people. Not that people don't know it. Sometimes we just have to be reminded, especially when we're dealing with an issue or something. Sometimes it's just a reminder of things you already know.
Yeah.
And you go like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh
It's
yeah.
Helping you move forward.
Helping you move forward.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. How long have you been preparing delicious meals?
My whole life.
Your whole life?
No. Probably, I would say at least the last 10 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
But really cooking my whole life. When I was younger, I wanted to open a fast food restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Went through the whole process. But in the end, it didn't work out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I personally am going to take responsibility. It wasn't thorough enough in the process. So I got approved for to be a franchisee, but the other things that came along with it, I had not prepared for.
You know what? Same thing with me. The first time I stepped out in my business, I was not ready for it. I look back and I know I wasn't ready. It did not work out. I didn't have the equipment I needed. I had a portion of it. I knew, hey, I can write, I can direct, that kind of thing like that. But I didn't have those other tools. So the second time I stepped out in my business, it's like I had things lined up. I had editing equipment, I had cameras by that time. I had some basic things so that when I stepped out the second time, I was more prepared. Yes. So that's a lesson, a business lesson. And it's good that we can look back on there and say, yeah, I kind of messed that up real bad.
Yeah, I messed that up. But I learned from that.
Exactly.
And so my passion for cooking stayed with me. And so when I was ready, now I was ready to do it. And so that was in my 20s. Yeah. And now that I'm in my 30s.
Okay.
But the passion for what you want to do, it just sticks with you. Yeah. And then when you're ready,
it's like the techniques are different. The setup is different. The vehicle in which you do it sometimes changes. But as long as I always say, and I was talking earlier to some young people about the importance of finishing something. Sometimes you just got to start it and finish it. It may not be perfect, right? But you got to finish it, because when you finish one thing, then hey, I can do something else. I can do it again. I can try it again. And sometimes failure is the best teacher, because then you look back and go like, yeah, okay, I needed this, I needed that. I really wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, as long as you're honest enough with yourself and say, I can learn the lesson in this.
Yes.
I think the very first video that I ever made, I was encouraged by one of your students to do it. It's like, you should do it. I said, it was some TV contest. Yeah. And I think the very first video we made, the contest, we came in like 5th place.
Wow. Okay, so let's just tell people who this person is, who the student is.
Oh, the student's actually my son, Devin.
His son, Devin. His son, Devin, who is right behind the camera right now.
Who's on the camera and making this look amazing.
Yes. And with his other friend. And
with my
his
other
whole
son.
family is behind the scenes. I love this. It's a whole family production, right?
Yes.
Everybody is involved. Devin came to one of our PA classes, our production assistant workshops. And, we talked earlier about us having classes. He came and amazing young man. And now he's an amazing older man.
With a beard and everything.
With a beard and everything. He looks so grown up when I saw him when I first got here. And wonderful. You and your wife just did a marvelous job with raising him. He's a kind person, kind-hearted, good citizen, a productive citizen, all those things that you would want in a son. And I know you probably had to spank him. I don't know. A couple times.
Oh, I don't want to tell you that story.
You want to tell you that story?
No, I don't want to tell you that story.
Let's just say whatever you did growing up, it works because he is a brilliant young man. He's not a fearful young man, but he is a strong and very kind young man. So, appreciate this whole family coming together to actually do this. This is wonderful.
It's good to have a supportive team that you can count on and that supports your vision for the things you want to do.
Yeah, so. Good support. My husband and I work in the business together. So people often ask, what is it like to work with your husband? Because you're at home together, you're at work together, as spouses. I would not have it any other way, right? Are there challenging times? Yeah, sure. But overall, we're where we're supposed to be. And we have our different areas. Now, he does some producing. He knows how to use the camera. I love my husband. He in our studio, sometimes if we need something done, he'll grab that ladder. He'll grow up. So we have a 16,000 square foot facility right in Fayetteville, Georgia, a whole film production studio in the back where we create content. We shoot. We have sets up and things like that. He is very, very hands-on, and I do a lot of the producing, writing, directing, the creative. I do a lot of writing. Which I love that. And so we work together and like I said, would not have it any other way.
Was film his passion as well early on? Or?
Well, he started off in the music industry. So he's worked, he's been A&R for some different labels. He's worked a lot in the gospel arena, Shirley Caesar, Michelle Williams.
Nice.
He's done a lot of work there. Then he transitioned over into music television.
Okay.
Which with Gospel Music Channel, he was one of the 5 people that actually was part of that network. Now it's like Up TV, and then I think a part of it is Aspire TV. They branched off and so forth and so on. And so now he's moved on into film. He still does music. He's created a score. He creates scores, music beds. I mean, he does a lot of all our music for our films and our documentaries and our production. Okay. He'll produce all that, as well. As he's a marketing guru, and that we do a lot. We do a lot together.
You're talking music. I love this question. So, soundtrack for the life of Tammy. 3 songs that's got to be on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just 3.
No, I'm good. Give me a second here. Let me think. 3 songs. Just 3. Just 3.
I know it's going to be periods or long. You know what I mean. It could be whatever.
Okay, like my 3 right now at this moment. My 3. I would say Trust in God by Elevation Worship.
Okay.
Led by Chris Brown. I like that version. Led by Chris Brown. What else? This is on the chorus part of Beyonce's Irreplaceable. Irreplaceable. And I say that because
Okay, I'm holding it in my head.
Think that I'm irreplaceable, something like that.
I got another you in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Now I'm not going to add another one of my husbands in a minute, but anything like that. But when I think of that, when I heard that part, irreplaceable, it goes back to empowerment, how each one of us is created differently and uniquely, right? Embracing our uniqueness, that truly each one of us, we are irreplaceable. There's nobody else like us.
And nobody can be a better you than you.
Exactly. So embracing that. So that chorus part of
I got
You may not know about me. I think that's the word, I was say, you finding out about me, irreplaceable. That's what we're talking about. That we're all unique in our own way, and we embrace our uniqueness. Sis.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them. Because that's what makes us who we
one?
are. Okay, the third one, third song. And probably when I walk away today, I'm going to just have this whole list
Just
and say, I should have said this, I should have said that. The third song. What song am I? Well, my third song. Oh, I just thought about it.
Which one?
I like Ludacris and Carrie Underwood's Champion. Champion. It's an empowerment song.
Wow.
Champion. I am a champion.
I didn't see that coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I like those three.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
wish I could quote the words to that Champion song. I should know it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said you're a film studio.
Yes.
What are you making films there now? Is it open?
Yeah. We are in the process. We are creating content, a lot of content in house.
Okay.
We are building out. I'm currently working on a documentary feature, maybe my 6th documentary. I do a lot of bios. I've done bios for award shows and things like that, creating people's story. And I think at a time like this, our stories are so important, our achievements to put that on display. So I'm working on probably, I guess, about my 6th documentary feature, and doing a lot of writing even for other shows that I'm, asked to write for. I do a lot of stories like that, which I absolutely love.
So when someone asks you to write, do they have something in mind that they want you to write, or do they say, hey, come up with something for me?
On the documentary features, it's about finding their stories and following their stories, and the ones I've been really blessed and fortunate to write on, they've given me the permission to go in and find the stories and develop that kind of thing like that. So that's been a very rewarding journey. When you're part of somebody's lives and things continue to reveal themselves, right? And so you may think, okay, I'm gonna follow this storyline, and then you learn something new, like, oh my God, that is wonderful, and it opens up something else. It's almost like these doors are opening, and it's I love that, and I love hearing about people's story, because for me, it's still all about empowerment. It's all about education. I love that, and so when people hire me, also, I may write for a TV show. Like I'm writing for a show now where I'm writing stories, putting together about people, packages I'm putting together about people. So that's why somebody may bring me in as a freelancer and say, hey, we have these stories. We want you to write these for the show, Wow. So I do that. So, I love that type of work. A friend of mine the other day, she said, Tammy, you've been working in production ever since you were in college, and you continue on. When new techniques and things come out, you learn about them, you keep going. And for me, I never thought of it as anything, because I'm like, it's a natural progression. Somebody said, well, why did you have to, want to build a studio? For us, it was just a natural progression, because it's like, if we're going to be in something, then we need to be in it, both feet in. And then it continues to develop, vision continues to come, so it's kind of like, as long as I'm here and I got vision and I got the passion in me, I'm going to keep on creating and creating. That's what I do.
So it's not necessarily I want to do this, but okay, this is the next thing.
Well, I have goals, certain things that I would love to do, out there, and, go for those. And many of them I had achieved, in the sense of I've done them. So now my vision has to expand, because I don't know how, everybody reacts, but for me, it's like, I continue to grow, I continue to learn. That's what I need to do. That's a part of me. That's something that I want to do. I don't want to become stagnated, not knowing how to, like, even people look at AI and go, some people are very afraid of AI. Some people are not. But you can see it as a tool. How can you use it as a tool? Because the bottom line is, it's not going away. No one's going to retrieve AI.
We're not going to use it. They're going to use it.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, how can I use it to help me be more productive?
Is that your perspective as a studio owner? Like, how do I use this to my advantage?
Yeah, how do I use it to my advantage? You know,
Okay.
I would never use it to just like write my stuff, but how do I use it? You know, as a tool, and I think that's in any business you have to see it as a tool. How can it benefit me as another tool? Like we use laptop computers, we research, we Google stuff. How can we use it as a tool? And that's the way I see it as a tool. You know. Now, unfortunately, you know, well, I won't go into what some people are doing with AI, but I think, you know, when it comes to personal things like counseling, dream interpretations, things like that, you got to be very careful with that. You can't do things like that, but use it as another kind of tool. That's what I see it. Okay, another bite.
Another bite. Another bite.
Another bite. I think I'm gonna need a to-go plate.
You're going to go? Okay.
Okay. I didn't bring any aluminum foil.
This is not that cook. This is not that cookout.
This is not the cookout.
You got to bring the Tupperware.
Tupperware?
Or you're supposed to fix your to-go plate when you first make your plate. Excuse me.
When you first make your plate?
Yeah, you know how they do it to cookout.
Oh, make your to-go plate first, then make a plate to eat there. Because you know what? Sometimes at our family reunions, this is kind of food we have.
Oh, okay.
Like last year, we had like something called Sunday dinner. So we had this type of food, right? Other times we had the big cookout where it's hamburgers and hot dogs and things like that. But our family, like I said, we bring so much food. We have like pans of macaroni and cheese, pans of greens, pans. Yeah. It's like when you leave, you still have pans on the table going like, anybody want to take this home? You know, we just buy a stack of to-go plates just to put by the table because we know.
Please take it.
You please take it. Please take it. Yep. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
For your students, not some that are here, but some of your students, what's the best advice you could give them for moving forward in the film and TV industry? Because it's ever changing. So what's good advice for people who want to get into it?
I always say, be three-dimensional, you know, operate in 3D, so to speak. If you are a producer, learn how to do other things. Learn how to write. Learn how to direct. You know, that's the way I came up. I came up as my goal was to be a producer, but I wanted to learn all the positions around me so I could better communicate with the camera person, you know, with audio. I wanted to at least understand those things. Would I call myself a camera person or a videographer or a DP, all that? No, but I know how to use one, right? So I would say make sure you're well-rounded. Don't just be one thing. And I found coming up, I had to be more than one position, right? Because I had to, sometimes African Americans, we had to do more.
You got to do more.
All that. So that's the way I came up. But I still believe that principle is true because it makes you more diverse and flexible, right? It just does. And when our industry took a hit, those, you know, some people could easily shift, you know, and do other positions because they weren't just one thing. And those who were just operating in one position all their life, they were having a hard time, right? They were having a hard time.
So the versatility makes you a little more valuable.
I think so, yes. Yes, it does. Okay. I learned how to edit coming up. My first job was an editor in news. When I was in college, I never thought I was going to edit, right? It wasn't my thing, right? Probably because I didn't know how to do it that well, so I hated it, right? I just hate this. Well, I couldn't do it, right? So, but when I learned to do it in news, I call it my boot camp. When I worked in news, I was an editor. I was a weekend editor, part-time, and I had to learn to edit fast. So I always tell people, learn how to edit. That's one of your basic skills. Learn that because I think it kind of bleeds over into like several departments, you know, when you're just learning to edit. So just to be a very well-rounded person. And then number two, know what's going on in the industry. Understand the industry, what's happening. You know, understand all the shifts that's going on, that's taking place. You know, we had the strike, we had COVID, we had the strike, we had all those different things, right? That affected, you know, production all the way around, still affecting productions today. So understand where and how jobs may change, right? I know DPs now who are getting more into the producing side and things like that because they're seeing their role as DP starting to shift with some of the AI tools and things like that. So it's like just understand the industry, how it's shifting, so you can be prepared. You want to see as far in advance as you possibly can see. And be ready for that. Be ready for
You
that
actually
shift.
have to stay informed about your industry.
Understand
and know
your
what's
industry.
happening.
Yeah, sometimes we just want, as filmmakers, let me just create this film, let me just create this in the bubble. It's like, okay, now once you create it, what are you going to do with it?
What are you going to do?
Yeah, now you have a distressed property, right? So you always like to look ahead and go like, okay, what's in the market right now? What's happening? And Hollywood is a copycat. Sometimes it's a copycat thing. This horror movie works. Okay, let's do another horror movie. This works, let's do horror. So you can just kind of see what's happening in the marketplace. Always be aware of what's going on around you.
So the people here in Georgia, I guess, staying informed would help them because it seems like a lot of productions are leaving Georgia or things are changing. People are coming and going. But if they were more versatile, it would help their careers.
Yeah, there's a lot that happened in our industry. Was a lot that went on with like I said, with COVID, and then coming back from that, and then the strike, first strike, second strike, the potential of another strike, all that, affected, has affected the industry.
Yes.
Altogether. So, yeah, I think you have to diversify and be open to other opportunities, be open to other places where videos are shot. People do corporate videos, people work at TV stations, and I know people who work in like a corporate type of setting, and they have video production departments that do their commercials and do various things. So it's so many other ways, and in addition to, of course, making film. I mean, content is still needed. Content is still demanded. People, we consume a lot of content, so that's still out there. Yeah, but for those who just want to stay in the industry, I would say diversify, and look for opportunities in various places. Yeah, because production is still going on. People are still filming, not all here, but people are still filming around the world. Yeah, so.
I still see those signs say crew parking.
Yeah, there's plenty of those signs still saying people are still filming. People are definitely still filming. So, yeah.
Writing. And writing scripts.
Did you want to see my other book now?
I did want to see your other book.
Because, like I said.
Are these your first books?
This is not my first books. I've written some other books like years ago. This particular quote I'm about to read is not my quote, but I wanted to put it in this book. That when you start to do something and move forward in your life, and you get a lot of opinions about what you should and should not do, when you know you have a vision in your heart to do something. I heard someone say this the other day, and I just had it conclude. I put it in here on day 14. This is a 90-day Afro book. It says, I had a purpose before others had an opinion. So my purpose, I had a purpose before others had an opinion. So it's like, no matter what other people are thinking or saying about what we're doing, guess what? My purpose is stronger than your opinion. So I think I heard one of the football players say that once. The Eagles quarterback.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And he will have a quote for you.
Yeah, he will have a quote for it. and I love that. And that stuck with me. And I was like, okay, that's got to go in this book. Yeah. That's got to go in there. I wrote this during the pandemic, right? Teaching kids. I told you it's all about education for me, right? All about education. And
how you pronounce
Nanaya.
That? Nanaya.
Some people say Nania.
I was going to say it wrong.
Yeah. Those numbers 1 through 10. So it's a counting book, but it's also about hairstyles, natural hairstyles. It's a hair book.
It's a children's hair book?
It's a children's hair book. For example, go to number 9.
Number 9.
It teaches you to count forward and backwards, and then it's also in Spanish.
You said go to number 9, and I thought I was going that way, but it went down.
There you go. Oh, here you go.
Number 9.
Yeah, look at number 9. You can show people.
9 Bantu knots.
9 Bantu.
9 red bands on Nanaya's head. They beautifully stand.
Yeah. So kids get an opportunity to appreciate their natural hairstyles.
Yeah.
And then they count the Bantu knots. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a counting book, but it's all about the hair and having that pride in our natural hair. Yeah, it should be 9 there. It should be 9. So, and then we do it in Spanish too. So a child can actually learn how to count to 10 in Spanish. And this book came about. My mom was a hairstylist. My mom was a hairstylist growing up. She had her own salon. And I remember when she was working at a factory. Now, this says this is not for resale. This is a proof copy. These are fresh off the press. I literally just got this in on a couple of days ago. So I really just got that book in.
I love it.
And so I had to bring it because, again, I'm all about education. And if I can do that in any kind of way, I would.
What I like is encouraging us that our standard of beauty is okay for us.
It's okay.
Like you don't have to, somebody else says, your hair should be like this.
Yeah.
Your hair should be like that.
Yeah. I love it. Braids, beads, and afros, all that. The natural look.
I don't even want to say I had all of that at one point.
Yeah.
The braids, the beads.
You had all that?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I had all that. I actually showed my daughter a picture of me with some braids and beads. She was like, don't ever show this picture again. But at the time, you couldn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I love that we get to encourage each other with like a positive standard of beauty for ourselves.
Yeah.
In filmmaking, how important is that? Like the imagery of how we're seen and how you show people, or does it matter?
It's so important. You know, media is such an influencer on our lives. You know, sometimes people's lives are patterned by what they see on TV, good, bad, or indifferent. You know, so for me, it's very important that what's out there, what's being talked about. You know, I kind of take all that very, serious. You know, what we're putting out, what we're creating. I think it's very important, and it's good to have content creators who are, continuing to create stories to educate, empower, to encourage people, which that is my foundation of, what I do. But it's also important.
I think it's very important. And I think people have to be fearless to do it. A lot of people won't buck the system and like, well, they don't want me to put this out. Maybe it's too black or too, no, it's you.
It's you. It's who we are. I actually have a series called Naturally Brown Woman. It's actually, it's currently on YouTube and on our website called naturallybrownwoman.com. And it's about empowerment. Again, everything for me goes back to that, but it's about educating. We talk about everything from, one show was called Save My Edges. So, save my edges. So it was about, how we can wear our wigs, weaves, and braids without compromising our scalp. You know, how can we do that? So we tackle other topics too, everything from financial things to marriage, relationships, just all kinds of topics, farmers, the Black farmers. And that's what we do on that show. Again, it's to appreciate, empower people of color, but also it's appreciation for those who support people of color. So that's
what's it called again?
As well. Naturallybrownwoman.com. My husband actually came up with that name.
Oh, did he?
My husband did. He actually came up with that name for the show, and it started. We've been doing it for a while. We did it during COVID. Those interviews were online, but then we moved into our studio. We created a set and did it big like that. We even have a show on church hurt.
Church hurt.
Church hurt.
Like the church hurt you.
The church hurt you.
Wow.
Dealing with church hurt, because some people, those who choose to go to church, some of them have been hurt for various reasons. In the church, maybe and they decided they're not going to go anymore because they've been hurt by it. So I'm not going anymore. So I wanted to address that issue because I found that there was a lot of people who were like that, right? Maybe the pastor did something wrong. Maybe maybe the usher didn't let them sit on the fifth seat or on the end. They wanted to, but whatever the reason is. That's kind of stuff. And I wanted to address that.
Okay.
To go, just kind of say, hey, take a look at this right here, examine this, because it's real and people do get hurt.
I want to watch that. Where can I find it?
naturallybrownwoman.com.
Oh, it's on the Naturally Brown.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and
That's
that
one of
show
the
has been
episodes?
released. That's one of the episodes
Okay.
that's been released. Of course, it's on our YouTube channel too, by the same name. But yeah, so we want to just kind of dig into some things and just kind of go to people and like, what's going on with your life? It's like you go to the community first. You say, what's happening? That's how you meet needs of people and know what people need and want. Is that you ask them, what's going on?
You can't assume. I think this is what you need.
Yeah, I'm building this building. It's for you. There you go.
Right.
It's like, but that's not what I need.
That's not what I need.
That's not where I'm feeling. That's not where I'm at right now. It's like, okay. All right, let me go back. So you go to the community first.
I need employment. Can I work there? No, you can't work here. I mean, but I built this building for you. Yeah. Yeah, no, you didn't make that for me.
All of that.
Oh. Last one, storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
How do you approach storytelling? Like if I want to write something, like how do you approach it to where you tell a good story that's compelling? Mm-hmm. Does it have to be based in your life experience or how do you come up with a good story?
When I just use my experience, if you know, when I'm working on a documentary or, telling someone's story, I like to go in, I think about the word truth. I want to bring out truth, whatever that truth is, and as many truths as possible, bring it on, look at it and go like, let me find the core, the essence of this person, of the story I'm telling. I try and shave off all the fluff and let me get to the bottom baseline. So once I get to the bottom line, then I branch out from there.
Okay.
Right? Then I bring everything else in. As long as my theme and the core of the story I'm trying to tell, I got to find that first. And documentaries, as I shared, it continues to reveal itself. Because somebody may tell you something, right? And that's great. But because they're living in the moment, they may not think it's that important to them, right? It's
this
almost
is just part of it.
Exactly. It's almost like having that picture inside the frame. You can't see it because you're inside, right?
Yeah.
So, so I try and get to the core, and then I find the heart of the message, and then I write from there. Then I just kind of write from there and bring it together. So that has worked for me. My process. And everybody's process is going to be different how they approach something, but also because I've edited. I'm an editor. As my core, as my base, I've edited, So I look at that, I go like, I approach it from a visual perspective too. So I see it too. I see the story. I want to see it how other people see it. Editing, you put video together, you splice it up. So I'm looking at, I'm coming at it from a whole nother visual perspective.
So you have to factor in all the little nuances about what the end picture is going to look like.
Yeah, exactly.
As part of the story.
As a part of the story. And that's how I put it together in my head. And when I do it that way. That's my. But some people can write, but they don't think visually. And then when it's time to put the visuals to it, I'm talking about documentary style, it's hard for them to match it because they wrote it in such a way that they got to figure out how to cover certain things, right? But I go in looking at visuals and thinking about the visuals first sometimes, and I mix it together with the story and I lay it like that, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
Because I come from an editing world, and so that's why I always encourage creatives, learn to edit those things.
I'm going to have to learn how to edit better. But I have an editor,
so. But you have an editor, or at least understand the process.
The process,
understand the process. Yeah. So, but that's been years since I've been, doing that. Yeah.
So when I get my cookbook together, I can come to your publishing company?
Yes, come to my publishing company.
I'm not kidding. I'm working on it.
Okay.
But
yes. Yeah.
This has been amazing for me. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
I did.
I know that we can call you Chef Tammy now.
Chef Tammy.
I'm gonna go
Do
ahead and get you.
I have an official T-shirt or something?
Oh yeah, you'll get your In the Kitchen with Vinny apron.
Okay.
No, really.
Certificate?
No certificate. Not certified. We don't have insurance for that because you're gonna go burn the kitchen down, maybe.
Are you reflecting about that little brown I had on the cabinet earlier?
That was charred. That was great.
God.
That was great.
I'll never live that down. Good job.
Yeah. You have anything for me? Anything else for me?
No, this has been a wonderful experience.
I'm glad you
Thank you so
enjoyed it.
much for helping me to learn how to make better cabbage.
Make better cabbage. Well,
Yeah.
that's what we're all about here.
Yeah.
How do people find you? And can people contact you?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
they can. Yeah. I'm on Instagram, Tammy'Dele Films _. That's Tammy with a Y, DELE Films _. That's probably the best way to contact me. You know, DM me. I do go through my DMs and reply and that kind of thing. Yeah. But also info@naturallybrownwoman.com for those who are interested in that show.
I'm going to watch the Church Hurt. I'm going to watch that
Watch
today.
Church, yeah.
I'm going to watch that.
I have a wonderful guest on the show, and she really, breaks that down. Yeah.
Okay.
Healing from Church Hurt is what it's called.
Well, this has been amazing. And as always, it is our goal to bring good people, good conversation, and good food. We hope you guys enjoy this. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and feel free to share your thoughts.